Well, what's going on here? Well, I have to apologize for yesterday, but it seemed that YouTube was broken. This is where we stand still on this. We're not going to work on this tonight. We're going to work on the stabilizer. I need to do a little bit of rearranging here, and I'm a little late because I just got out of the shower. But I'm pretty much sanded out on that. So first thing I need to do is kind of scrape this off. I want to dent up my wood. Maybe the other side might be clearer. Let's see. I just got some buggers on that too. Yeah. Is this thing straight? Straight enough, I suppose. Okay. Come on now, where are you? Yeah, we got a razor blade here. Okay, how to build a stabilizer from nothing, and we'll do it quick too. I think I'm going to have to invest in a new board. I think I'm pretty well wiped this one out. So maybe we'll just get the pieces cut tonight. What I really need to do is build a stabilizer press. Okay, that's close enough. We'll get some wood up here and see what we're gonna do here. I gotta pick out some decent stuff now. Hopefully I got some 4" 16th. If not, we'll have to use 4" 3/32. Yeah, I got some well, this one sheet of 16th, one sheet of 3/32. That's 16. That's 17. Hey Greg, good evening. Is the audio okay on this? Hopefully. That's 19. Kind of want to keep it as light as possible because way back there, weight is pretty important. see here. 21, 18. Well, that's a decent one. I'd like to have some 4-pound wood, but we're kind of down to slim pickings now. You know, a lot of people would kill for this wood, but I always want better. 19. Grain is fairly straight, but it's heavy. 19. We're going to have to, there's an 18. We're going to have to, ooh, that's a nice piece. Okay, so we'll use that piece. And this piece. Close enough. So this stabilizer, the combination normally comes out at 3 ounces. So that includes everything. So hopefully we can get there. And if it doesn't come out at 3 ounces, you just build another one. You can't, you know, especially way back there, you can't skimp. You gotta. I think I'm gonna have to cheat on this one though. Okay, I know that the stabilizer is 30 inches. Yeah, combat was fun on 60-foot lines, I suppose. So the first thing I'm going to do is true up the edge. Get my straight edge. If you follow my build methods, it's so easy to build an airplane, competitive airplane. You know, there's nothing to it. So we're going to true up the trailing edge here. Don't want to take much off of it. Remember what I said in my nobler build, that the stabilizer elevators are judged by the width of the wood that you have on hand. So I have 4-inch wood on hand. That's how wide it's going to be, 4 inches or thereabouts. It's not a mystery. Oh, that's a nice piece there. Nice and soft. Hopefully we get to paint this weekend. I'm hoping. Yeah. So I got a piece of light 3/8 here. And this is going to be leading edge and center section. Aero-modeling channel. Frankie, how you doing? Now I need to whip out the ballpoint pen, the square. So as I stated, I think that other one's 30. I'm not sure that it has to be 30, but how I normally do my stabilizer is if the wingspan is 60 inches, half the distance. So let's make this one, I think maybe 28 to kind of save on the weight. Let me measure this. Yeah, we'll make it 28. That's plenty. Come over here and make a mark, 28 inches. 14 is 50%, or half of 28 for some of the guys that ain't too sharp. We have a 4-inch root. We want a 2-inch tip. Pretty simple. Now, guys like Brett, Paul, and those guys, you know, they figure everything out to the. They number them to death, you know, math and all that other stuff. But hey, this worked for me. So which edge did I straighten up? This edge. We make 2 skins. We'll use that as ribs. What's funny, Greg? Hey Mike, I am working on my Continental XL, which is the bigger version of the original Continental that I built the wing and the fuselage. I gotta get back on this. I did the molding of the skins and that business. So working on this airplane here, and we'll get it done when I get it done, I guess. No rush. I got more airplanes than I got room for. Okay, so center line of the fuselage. Two inches on the tip. That's cutting it in half. Five. This is so simple. You do it my way. Make a tick mark. You know what? Let's make this 2 1/4. We'll have a bigger stab on this one. 2 1/4. A little bit more. We already cheated it on span, so let's uncheat it from the tip root. Now, anybody that knows anything about the Continental knows that it has some real swoopy fillets in the leading edge. So in order to do this and make it look right and come out right, let's see, what did I say that was? Was 15, so it goes right. And right there. That's the leading edge of the stab. Oh, yeah, I got the Bearcat jig working in the corner. Alright, the measurement across here is, I think, 1 inch, but I never know. So we'll measure it. It's 1 1/16, so we'll make it 1 1/8 so I can sand. So what's half of 1 1/8? 9/16, I believe. I'll have to remeasure. Yep, that's what it is. Okay, this is where the leading edge is going to fare into the fuselage. Now if I'd have cut that to a point, there would have been extra material that I would have had to fill, and I don't want to add putty, especially all the way back here, so we'll cut a little large. Now this is our jig. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to step away for just a second. I'm going to take this and hold it up to my other airplane and see if that looks about right. Yeah, it doesn't. So I lost a little bit on the tip of that. What was that? Huh. That'll be fine. It'll be fine. Should have been about 2.5 here instead of 2 1/4. But that's okay. We lost 1/4. So there's quite a bit of taper in this. I got to make a decision now. Do I want to go ahead with this or fix this now on the next piece? Let's cut the other one bigger and see how it looks. You know, the mad scientist in me wants to do things the easy way. Yeah, it's only wood. And I probably will fix it. So that's 2 1/4. I guess we'll make it 2 1/2 because it don't look right. And that's how I operate. That looks about right. Stabilizer is a pretty important part. You wouldn't really think so. You know, the elevators, the set. You know, if you got big elevators, a lot of area back. The stabilizer stops the airplane in the turn. So when it turns flat and holds. So you got to have enough, especially with these big airplanes. So I don't know if you guys remember when I was building my Tucker XL. I think I built 4 rudders till I got the one that I liked. Hopefully won't make that many mistakes. So now let's take a look at this one as compared to the other airplane. Because I like the way the characteristics of one airplane, and as long as you build similar weights and sizes, they'll have similar flight characteristics. That's more better. Okay, so the difference is, I don't know if you can see this or not. You know, it probably wouldn't matter. Probably wouldn't matter a bit. So instead of wasting that piece of wood, I'm going to cut it to the correct shape. So in order to get these exact, we'll tack glue them. Perfect is good. My dad used to tell me that. Perfect is good. Okay, let's crew them up so they'll be exactly the same. Let's see, we want to do it this way. I'm going to crew the trailing edges together because they weren't perfect. Hopefully this wood will quit relieving. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that little bit of amount at the tip there would make that much of a difference. Yeah, that'll make a difference, so. That would make a difference. You know, I get a lot of guys ask me, "Can I get some plans to that?" Well, the plans are in my head. Don't use no plans. Very rarely do I build airplanes from plans. Now, where is my long sanding bar? Oh well, no matter. I still gotta trim that some more. Cut it 3 times, still too short. There we go. Now here I'm just eyeballing it for the flat. Perfect. Okay, so we got the skins done. Now, because the Continental had swooping elevators that came around this way, I'm just going to draw a circle here. And what can I use for a circle? Heck, I got to straighten up the trailing edge again. Didn't get all that straight. I don't know if it's pulling or what. I can't tell if this wood has power in it or what's going on, but it seems to, every time I cut it, it seems to relieve itself. That's why I was looking for my sanding bar. There's a trick. If you got wood that's relieving itself, if you sand it instead of cut it, it won't relieve. I can sand a stick square or sand a piece straight. There's my sanding bar. That you can't cut. You know, the power in the wood won't let you cut it. Okay, there's our stabilizer. All done. Okay, so now what do we want to do for the tips here? That's too big. There we go. Now you don't want to cut this, you want to trust the force, yeah. You want to draw these on, you don't want to cut them on the cans, because you kind of got to take a look at it before you commit. That looks about right. And this can is just a smidge, probably a 1/16 of an inch too small. So I'm just drawing to the apex of the circle and then moving it over, and we'll sand it round by eye. And you say, well, how does that work? Well, the elevators, when the elevators come up here, the elevators swoop around to create the illusion of the tips. It's an anti-balance weight, and that's how Tom did things. And, you know, anybody that saw Tom's airplanes, the guy had something for style, I must say. So it's been on 30 minutes, and I got it blanked out anyway. I'm cutting it about a 1/16 of an inch away from the pen line, because we're going to sand that to shape. It's a lot easier to sand for accuracy than to cut. So now, I know I got a sanding block around here. That's 180. I'd rather have 80 grit. But the 80 grit block is buried. Come on. Here's one on top. Big one though. Yep, we got this one here. I need a little box for all my sanding utensils. The only bad thing about doing it, this one here is a little short, so I need to move that over. The only bad thing about doing it this way is those little counterbalance tip weight things, they tend to break off, so you gotta saturate them with CA. really like that shape. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. Close enough for, because that'll be worked on anyway. So this out right. Gas. It must be Eric Swalwell. Uh-oh, not receiving enough video, it says. Of course, I think YouTube's on the fritz. It was out for a couple hours. All over the world yesterday. That's why we didn't have a show. Okay, what do we got for weight? Let's see where we're at. So I need to make this, I need to make these pieces light. 6/10. So let's cut let's strip some 3/8 squares. Is that gonna be, yeah, that should be enough. I'll make it half by 3/8. Well, let's see here. Stripper, where are you? We'll make it half by 3/8 for the leading edge. Are we still on? Or what? Because I'm getting an error message. Okay, that's a half or close enough. This is what's known as a flat plate or a flat stab. They're not quite as pretty as an airfoil stabilizer, but I think they work good. I mean, I'm sure there's probably pros and cons to airfoil as opposed to flat stab. Who knows? And we need to cut these back apart. Remember, I drew those lines on the outside, so you kind of want to keep things orientated in that direction. So we're going to mark this. In. Okay, so Zona saw. I need a new saw. This one. Yeah, in 45 minutes we got starting to glue things together already. You can't do that. Okay. Okay. Don't use white glue for this. The stabilizer will warp. Let's see what this has to say. Hey, in this room, books with books. I think I'm in the wrong room. Yeah. I guess. I guess. What have you? Whatever. See, I just cut that off there. I shouldn't have glued that on there before I cut this one, but that's alright. We'll get her close. And I think about that for a minute. Kind of important to get a good tight joint on a leading edge. Hopefully I have a piece of 3/8 long enough for the trailing edge to go all the way across. Okay, that ain't it, so I need to take a smidge off the front. Good tight fits on everything is very important for strength and weight. You say, well, what do you mean weight? Well, if you don't have good fits, you got to fill them with something. And that something is usually putty, and it's usually heavy. Okay. 47 minutes. We got any questions out there? I mean, I know that you guys like to watch me work or whatever, but I'm really here to answer questions. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here or not. I'm laying it on the edge of the bench. Of course, I don't know if this bench is going to stand up to it or not, but all we can do is hope. I can get it. It's blocked off real nice. Hey, you can whatever. It's perfect. This, you know, all this stuff should be perfect. One guy wrote I don't know, a message on the board. Those arms look like a pallet full of ink pens or something like that. Whatever. Yeah, I got some tattoos. Adds character. Okay. A nice, what kind of muffler you looking for, Craig? Or Greg? Tube muffler, tongue muffler. Tongue mufflers are easily had. Tube mufflers are few and far between now. A good one. Okay, I need a piece of 3/8 that's decently long. Let's see what we got here. Man, we got a piece of 3/8 or a snake. Okay. There's 3/8, 46, 3/8. But I don't know, I might want to keep that flat. Seeing as that wood is getting to be so scarce and hard to come by. $83. Well, that's like a rock piece. I guess these will be the flaps. So we got 2 pieces for flap. You cannot build flaps lighter than light balsa wood, light solid wood. If I had a good light piece of 1/2 inch, I probably couldn't, I probably could cut that lighter out of 1/2 inch, 4 pound. Put this back. What we got here? This is less. I might have a hard time here. Of course, let's see. I'm going to make them 2.5. I can get away with cutting a trailing edge out of one of these. So let's take. We're not going to use that one. That's like rock wood. $46. Yep, we'll go ahead and strip this out 1/2 inch. The reason why I can get away with this is because the flaps on this airplane are not a full 3-inch span. I think they were 2.5. Let me measure this. We might have to skimp a little bit. I just cut it 3/8, so it's going to be 3/8 by 3/8, and leading edge gets rounded over. So, well, wait a minute, I'm going to have to scab in the back. Yep, we'll just make it 1/2 inch. Pretty close. "56 minutes, and we almost got a stab." Any, I will take either. One just getting back in the stunt after 20 years. Well, welcome back, Greg. Are you a member on Stunt Hangar? Okay. You want to go, if you're a member on Stunt Hangar, go to Randy Smith, Aero Products. He'll sell you a muffler. He doesn't have any tube mufflers anymore, but he definitely has tongue mufflers. You guys get the general drift of what I'm doing here. I mean, it's not complete, but in an hour's time, I've roughed out, I mean, it's kind of like framing a house. I've roughed out a stab. Of course, it gets a center section, then it'll get the ribs and the skin on top, and then sanded to shape. It's real simple. You know, there's not a whole lot to these airplanes. Okay, so let's cut a center section. It's straight. Now this is I don't know if this is really important to have this much wood in the center, so we're going to take some of that out too. As soon as I get the basic shape cut, I'll trim it out. We'll take 50% of that away. Try to be as accurate as you can, because this is where the strength comes from. Same with the tips. You want to tie everything together. So if you cut a little big, you can sand it to fit perfect. And because I don't have any solid wood, we're probably going to have to do the elevators the same way. But they're a little different because you have to put a hard point in it for the horn. Need to take 1/8 of an inch off the back. You notice I do a lot of measuring by eye. what you guys don't know, I mean, in my prior life I was a Harley Davidson mechanic, but now I'm building truck bodies and things, and I do a lot of stuff. You know, measure and build things by eye, but I'm using metal instead of wood, obviously. So there's, you know, I'm no newbie to tools. If I make it look easy, it's only because there's 50 some years experience. Okay, so now we don't need all this wood. I mean, this is only where the fuselage mounts, so we're just gonna, I'll just eyeball this. And we'll take some of that out of there. I don't like that. That looks about right. And nobody can see that anyway. And of course we can always sand it to shape. And the only reason to do this is you don't need all that weight. There's just no need for all that carrying around that material. We put a hole in the center. Man. See, when I was at home I had to whip it out on my scroll saw. Okay, well, now I get my sanding stick. You got one of them? Gotta have one of them. Yeah, you can always use improvise and use a paint can or glue bottle or something along that line, but a good proper sanding stick is always nice to have. It's a body tool. I think Durablock ought to give me a sponsorship. And for, nope, I really dug a piece out there. For gluing this piece in, we're not going to use quick set on the bottom. We're going to use slow set. We'll use quick set up here on the leading edge and trailing edge, but I want to get this glued down real good. So let's see here, slow set. This is medium. Yeah, I might have a problem with that. I think I need to go on Amazon and find some glue tops. They're way too expensive to buy from the hobby shop. I think this might be bad. Belt rub, oh, there it is. Okay, it does work. Okay. Remember, you only got one chance, so make sure it's in the right spot. That's it. Let's see if I'm going to like this or not, if it's going to be light enough. Got probably a 1/4 ounce more to go on it. Yeah, it might be okay. Keep it light. Keep it light. Okay. So we got what here? "99 playbacks." That means somebody's pretty interested in what I'm doing. So now, from the skins that we cut or whatever, we're going to cut some pieces for ribs. Yeah, that'll work. I should have cut that a little bigger. So I'm going to extend this so that there's some sanding room, because I think, no, that's good enough. That's plenty. I think we'll cut it off in another 15 minutes. I'm over time already. Haven't eaten dinner yet. But you guys get the idea. And I built hundreds of these like this. So anybody says it doesn't work, just don't know. Now, another thing I'd like to mention, you'll notice I'm doing this geodesic Warren truss layout here. It's about twice as strong as straight ribs. And one thing you don't want the stab to do is flex. Now they're proud by about a 1/16 of an inch, and we're going to just sand over that, and then when I get all this laid out, we'll laminate the top skin to this and weight it with some books, and that way it'll be stiff as a board. And about as light as you can make it. I mean, the only way you're going to get it lighter is if you use lighter wood, and that I don't have. I have what I have. But it gives you a chance to use up all the scrap too. Now, there's another way you can do this where you leave the skins off completely. You build it like this and cover it with tissue. I've done it like that. And it's quite a bit lighter, but not as stiff, and very hard to finish. So I've been opting for the flat plate. Let me explain what I did here. I measured out every inch, and every other inch I transferred to the other side, so that you get the truss. If you put the ribs in straight, you have more ribs, more weight, and not as stiff. So, and here again, this is, you know, this is nothing set in stone. You can do it any way you like. This has just worked for me for the last 50 years. Actually longer than 50, but I've been building a long time. Now, I used to smoke when I was in high school. The other guys would go behind the library and smoke. I'd go behind the library and sand. When I was in the Navy, I had airplanes. I had airplanes on my rack and on the shelves, and the commander would come in and, you know, barracks inspection or whatever, and they'd go, "What the heck is all this stuff?" You know what? They thought it was great. Didn't give me any trouble. When I was in A school in Millington, at night we'd finish class, go to the chow hall, head over to the hobby shop, pick up some fuel, get in my truck, drive down 51, and go to a Sears parking lot and fly under their lights. I had a Cougar I was flying in. Everybody wanted to be like John Glenn when I was a kid. Not because he was an astronaut, because he wasn't an astronaut yet. Because he flew the X-15. I hadn't even heard about Chuck Yeager yet. Glamorous Glenna, the X1. They had a show on 12 o'clock high. Oh, everybody always, you know, my friends. Heck, we had the only TV on the block. We'd come over and we'd watch 12 o'clock high. And guess what? We didn't even have air conditioning. There was no such thing. Open the window. No cell phones. Matter of fact, we had a party line. You young guys watching this, which is probably not many, a party line is where everybody in the neighborhood was on the same line. And I think, if I remember right, well, our phone number was Edgewood 76491, and 3 rings was us. The phone would go ring, ring, ring. That was the cue for you to pick up. And the other party on the line would be 1 ring or 2 rings or so on and so forth. For my model airplane money, all the kids were mowing lawns. I didn't think that was a good idea. That was like too much like work. I painted house numbers on curbs. It was a killer business too. I could paint some house numbers for $5, which would be big money. And it would take spray paint it on and be gone and done with it. We're starting to build in a little twist in this, but that's okay because when I put the top skin on it and weight it, it'll be fine. I'm going to do these last ribs and then I'm going to call it quits. And when we come back, we'll finish it up. In a few years, I suspect even model building airplanes will be a thing of the past. Free flight and control line are already gone. Yes, I'm afraid you're correct. If it doesn't have a computer screen or remote, nobody's interested. I guess I'll take up building ships in a bottle. Which might be harder than you think. I'll show what the progress I've got here. We'll put the tips in on the next session and finish the stack and then glue it together. I don't need any more airplanes in this room anyway, so not like I'm in a hurry to get it done. And I suppose this winter we'll get back on the Aero Bearcat. Because Al was kind enough to send me his skins. But see, I gotta be honest with you. Aero Bearcat is nice. And in its day it was competitive, I'm sure. But in today's game, I don't see it. I don't see it being competitive. I see it being cool, but I don't see it being competitive. Anyway, here's what we've got so far. It's laid out. I'll block sand it off till it's flush. And then weight the skin on top of that. Sand the leading edge. Route the trailing edge. Of course, I have to figure out where the hinges go, and I have to put a filler block of some type in there to hold those hinges in. Yeah, that's good. You are a member, Christopher. I see. Appreciate you joining the channel. I just don't have the time. But I do appreciate you you guys supporting. Man, COVID. Nope. Gotta be balsa dust. You don't want to get too crazy on this because you'll break these ribs off and then you got a problem. You just take your time. This is what's that guy's Bob something or other, the painter. Happy little circles. Well, this is happy little sanding. I'm using 80 grit right now because there's a lot, you know, I cut these really proud. What do you use to glue the top skin? Slow CA. Or you can use Z-Epoxy. But this will be glued on with slow CA. This is 180 grit. We're bringing it down completely flat. If you did that with 80 grit, it'd break your ribs. There's one other trick I'm going to tell you. On these flat stabs, very important. You wouldn't even think of it, but I know it from experience. Okay, listen up and don't forget this. On a flat stab with geodesic ribs, you have to take an 1/8 inch drill bit and drill a hole in each rib. And then on the inside, drill a hole in the trailing edge all the way through. 1/16 inch drill bit. If you don't, what happens is when these things get in the sun, in the hot sun, they swell. They get, you can, each one of these air chambers is sealed. And it'll puff up. So that's kind of important. That's a trick I ain't passed on for a while. So there you have it. There's that. We got, yeah. 3/4 of the stab done. We're 3/4 of the way there. Man, I can't hold on to nothing. Yep, that feels good. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I won't be on tomorrow night because Charles' show is on. But maybe we'll be doing a Saturday at John's again tomorrow, this weekend. Like, subscribe, share the videos, and until I see you again, fair winds, tight lines. See ya.